The elevator doors were closing when her voice cut through the lobby. "Wait. Mr. Parker." Amelia Chase, the billionaire CEO of Horizon Technologies, was actually running, across the marble floor in her designer heels, calling after the man who had just bombed his interview. The same man who had quietly mentioned he needed to pick up his daughter from school before rushing out. The same man whose resume showed 3 years of unexplained employment gap that he'd reluctantly explained was when his wife died of cancer and he became a single father. As the doors began to close, James Parker stuck his hand between them, confused. Why would one of the most powerful women in tech be chasing after him? If you're enjoying this story of second chances and unexpected connections, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more heartfelt stories that remind us success isn't always measured by traditional standards. James Parker adjusted his tie nervously as he sat in the waiting area of Horizon Technologies headquarters. The sleek, modern building with its glass walls and minimalist design intimidated him almost as much as the interview he was about to face. At 42, he felt out of place among the young tech professionals buzzing around the office. His once promising career in software development had been derailed when his wife Sarah was diagnosed with aggressive cancer 5 years ago. After her death, he'd put everything on hold to raise their daughter Emma, now 8 years old. The past 3 years had been a blur of school pickups, learning to braid hair, and working freelance jobs from home while Emma slept. But now she was more independent, and their savings were dwindling. He needed a stable job with benefits and regular hours. Horizon Technologies was his dream company, known for innovation and, supposedly, work-life balance. The position would be perfect, senior developer with flexible hours and good pay. He'd spent weeks preparing for this interview, refreshing his skills and updating his knowledge. "Mr. Parker? Ms. Chase will see you now," the receptionist said with a polite smile. James stood, smoothing his slightly outdated suit jacket. He hadn't expected to be interviewed by Amelia Chase herself. The founder and CEO of Horizon Technologies was legendary in the industry, brilliant, demanding, and known for building her company from nothing into a tech giant valued at billions. At 36, she was on every most powerful women in business list and was as famous for her sharp business acumen as for her private nature. The interview started well enough. James explained his background, his experience, his passion for coding. But when they reached the gap in his resume, he felt the energy in the room shift. "I notice you haven't held a corporate position for the past 3 years, Amelia said, her expression unreadable behind stylish glasses. "Can you explain that?" James took a deep breath. "My wife was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer 5 years ago. I scaled back to care for her, and after she passed away 3 years ago, I became the sole parent to our daughter. I've been freelancing and taking contract work that allowed me to be there for her." Amelia's face remained impassive. "And your technical skills? The industry moves quickly." "I've made every effort to stay current," James said earnestly. "I've completed several certification courses online, contributed to open-source projects when I could, and..." His phone buzzed. James apologized and glanced at it quickly, then paled. A text from Emma's school. She had a fever and needed to be picked up immediately. "I'm sorry, Ms. Chase, but I need to go. My daughter is sick at school." He stood abruptly, gathering his portfolio. "Thank you for your time." Amelia frowned. "We haven't finished the interview, Mr. Parker. I understand, and I apologize, but my daughter needs me." His voice was firm despite his disappointment. This was his best opportunity in years, but Emma would always come first. Amelia watched him leave, her expression unreadable. James hurried through the office, past curious stares, and into the elevator. As the doors began to close, he leaned against the wall and closed his eyes. Another opportunity lost. That's when he heard her voice calling his name, and the story of his life changed forever. Amelia Chase had never run after anyone in her professional life. As CEO, people came to her, not the other way around. But something about James Parker's quiet dignity and unwavering priorities had struck a chord. When he'd walked out of that interview to care for his child, she'd seen something rare in the cutthroat tech world: genuine integrity. "Mr. Parker," she said, slightly breathless as she held the elevator door. "I'd like to continue our conversation." James looked bewildered. "Ms. Chase, I appreciate that, but my daughter." "I understand. May I join you? We can talk on the way." Before he could respond, she stepped into the elevator and pressed the lobby button. "My driver can take us to your daughter's school. It'll be faster than waiting for a taxi." James was too surprised to object. Minutes later, they were sitting in the back of a sleek black car, an uncomfortable silence between them. "Why are you doing this?" James finally asked. Amelia looked at him directly. "Because in 15 years of building this company, I've learned that technical skills can be taught, but character can't. You just showed me exactly who you are and what you value." "By failing an interview?" "By being a father first." She paused. "My own father wasn't there when I needed him. He was building his business empire. I had all the material things a child could want, but not the one thing I actually needed: a parent who would drop everything for me." James was silent, processing her words. "Horizon needs people with your experience, yes, but more importantly, with your priorities. The position includes flexible hours, remote work options when needed, and comprehensive benefits. We have an emergency childcare service on site for situations exactly like today's." "You're offering me the job?" James couldn't hide his disbelief. "I'm offering you more than that. I'm offering you a chance to show our company what true leadership looks like. The ability to balance professional excellence with personal integrity." The car pulled up to Emma's school. "Go get your daughter, Mr. Parker. My card has my personal number. Call me tomorrow, and we'll finalize the details." James stepped out of the car, still stunned. "Thank you, Ms. Chase." "Amelia," she corrected with a small smile. "And James? The world has enough successful people who are unavailable to their families. What we need are more people who understand that success includes being there for those who depend on us." As James walked into the school, he felt a weight lift from his shoulders. For the first time since Sarah died, he felt like he might be able to be both the father Emma deserved and the professional he once was. Emma was sitting in the nurse's office, her face lighting up when she saw him. "Daddy! You came so fast." "I'll always come when you need me, sweetheart," he said, hugging her. "Always." Over the following weeks, James settled into his new role at Horizon Technologies. The flexible schedule allowed him to be there for Emma's school events and sick days while still contributing meaningfully to the company. His team respected his boundaries and valued his experience. Slowly, he began to feel like himself again, not just surviving, but thriving. Amelia kept her distance professionally, treating him like any other employee, but occasionally he would catch her watching him with an expression he couldn't quite decipher. They developed a mutual respect that gradually evolved into a friendship. She would ask about Emma, and he would inquire about her latest business challenges. They were from different worlds, but somehow, they understood each other. 6 months into his new position, James was working late on a critical project when Amelia stopped by his desk. "You should go home, James. It's past 7. He looked up, surprised to see her. "Emma's at a sleepover. I thought I'd get ahead on this." Amelia hesitated, then sat in the chair beside his desk. "Can I ask you something personal?" "Of course. How did you do it? After your wife died, how did you find the strength to keep going?" The question caught him off guard. Amelia Chase, the woman whose face graced magazine covers, whose business decisions moved markets, suddenly looked vulnerable. "One day at a time," he said honestly. "Some days, just 1 hour at a time." Emma needed me, so I had to be there. It wasn't always pretty or graceful, but we made it through together. Amelia nodded slowly. My mother died when I was young. My father buried himself in work. I built this company partly to prove I could succeed where he failed, building something lasting while still being human. She looked around the empty office. But sometimes I wonder if I've just recreated his prison. It's never too late to change course, James said gently. Is that what you're doing? Changing course? I'm finding a new path. One where I can honor Sarah's memory by being the best father and person I can be, while still using the talents I have. Amelia was quiet for a moment. Would you and Emma like to join me for dinner sometime? There's a great pizza place that makes the best ice cream sundaes for dessert. James smiled, surprised by the invitation. Emma would love that. So would I. That dinner was the first of many. Amelia, who had built walls around herself for protection, found herself looking forward to their time together. Emma was bright and curious, asking Amelia questions no adult would dare. And James was. James. Steady, kind, and surprisingly funny once he relaxed. A year after that failed interview, Horizon Technologies launched its most successful product yet, a platform James had helped develop. At the company's celebration, Amelia found him standing alone, watching the festivities. Congratulations, she said, handing him a glass of champagne. This wouldn't have happened without you. It wouldn't have happened without you chasing me down that day, he countered. I still don't fully understand why you did that. Amelia looked at him, really looked at him. Because you reminded me of something I'd forgotten in building this company, that the most important things in life aren't things at all. They're people and moments and choices. Is that why you've been spending Saturdays at Emma's soccer games? He asked with a smile. Maybe I just like soccer, she teased, but they both knew better. The truth was, Amelia Chase, Billionaire CEO, had discovered something her money couldn't buy, a sense of belonging with James and Emma. She adores you, you know, James said softly. She told her class that she has the coolest, almost mom, who builds computers and knows how to code games. Amelia's eyes widened. Almost mom? James looked embarrassed. Kids say things. I'm sorry if that makes you uncomfortable. It doesn't, she said, surprising herself with the truth of it. It's just, unexpected. A lot about the past year has been unexpected, James said, his eyes holding hers. Later that night, as they walked along the river near the office, Amelia took James's hand. I've been thinking about what Emma said. Amelia, you don't have to. I want to, she interrupted. I've spent my life building things, James. Companies, products, wealth. But I've never built a family. I didn't think I needed one or deserved one after watching my father's example. But you and Emma, you've shown me what I've been missing. James stopped walking and turned to face her. What are you saying? I'm saying that chasing you down that day was the best business decision I never made. It wasn't about business at all. It was about seeing someone who valued the right things, who had his priorities straight in a way I admired but hadn't achieved myself. You've changed in the past year, James said softly. You leave the office for dinner. You take weekends off. You came to Emma's school play. Because you showed me there's more to life than quarterly reports and board meetings. She took a deep breath. I'm falling in love with you, James Parker. And with your daughter. And it terrifies me because I don't know how to be part of a family. James touched her cheek gently. Nobody does at first. We figure it out together, one day at a time. Like getting through grief. Like getting through anything that matters. Together. When he kissed her, Amelia Chase, who had negotiated billion-dollar deals without blinking, felt her heart race like a teenager's. This wasn't in her 5-year plan. It wasn't something she could control or direct. But for the first time in her life, she didn't want to be in control. She wanted to be present. 2 years after that failed interview, James and Amelia were married in a small ceremony with Emma as the flower girl. Horizon Technologies had implemented industry-leading family leave policies and flexible work arrangements, inspired by the CEO's own journey. The company was more profitable than ever, with employee satisfaction at record highs. On their wedding night, after Emma had fallen asleep in the suite adjoining theirs, Amelia curled against James's side. "Do you ever think about how different our lives would be if you just stayed for the rest of that interview?" James laughed softly. "I would have tried to impress you with technical jargon, probably failed to get the job, and we'd never have known what we could be to each other." So failing that interview was actually succeeding at something much more important, she mused. "Life's funny that way," James said, kissing her forehead. "Sometimes what looks like our worst moment is just the beginning of our best chapter." Amelia Chase, who had once measured success in market share and profit margins, now measured it differently, in Emma's laughter, in James's smile, in family dinners and weekend adventures. She still ran her company with brilliance and vision, but now she did it with a fuller heart and a deeper understanding of what truly mattered. And it all began because a single dad failed an interview, but the female billionaire CEO ran after him. If this story touched your heart, please like and subscribe for more content that reminds us all that success comes in many forms, and sometimes our greatest victories arise from what initially seem like our failures. Remember that true wealth isn't measured in dollars but in love, connection, and the courage to prioritize what matters most.